Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Shakinah binti Abrani. My metric number is 060084. Today, I will analyze the challenges of ASEAN regarding Indo-Pacific strategy. Indo-Pacific, initially a geographic concept spanning two areas of the Indian and Pacific Oceans, is not a new thing in and of itself. Garpet S. Khurana, who introduced the word Indo-Pacific strategy, was a marine strategist and executive director of the New Delhi National Marine Foundation 10 years ago. He recently wrote in the Washington Post that the new phrase has altered China's strategic mind map since the 1980s reform and opening up. The term Asia-Pacific has come to represent a community of interest that connects the United States with East Asia. Trump's use the term Indo-Pacific implies that India, the United States, and other key ASEAN democracies, including Japan and Australia, will participate in containing China in the new framework of expanding Cold War hegemony. The ASEAN outlooks on the Indo-Pacific was envisioned to be inclusive and promote key principles. Today, the grouping is facing a great challenge amid the strategic competition for influence in the Asia-Pacific between the United States and China. Recently, countries in Southeast Asia have been forced to choose sides. As the US and China increase their strategic rivalry and start a new Cold War, ASEAN is locked up in a strategic tug-of-war that could destabilize the whole region if it fails to navigate the geopolitical challenge effectively. ASEAN has faced a complex regional security environment in 1990s. China's economic growth has benefited the whole East ASEAN region, but its rise in regional prominence has also produced uncertainties, especially about the South China Sea. ASEAN has established the ASEAN Regional Forum to engage the Asia-Pacific major powers in dialogue and confidence-building measures to contribute positively to post-Cold War security in East Asia. ASEAN now faces the challenge of maintaining its leading role as an organizer of this important focus for security discussion. Next, the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN, and its member states continue to delay any definitive response to the free and open Indo-Pacific concept. Although its principles are attractive to many ASEAN member states, long-held conception of ASEAN centrality and its meaning give the organization apparent reason for hesitation. The reasons include fears of diminished centrality and relevance, and reluctance to endorse a more confrontational mindset being adopted by the US and its allies, including the revival of the quadrilateral grouping with India with respect to China. Finally, the new trilateral security arrangement between the US, UK, and Australia under the collective name of AUKUS quickly overshadowed the strategy of Indo-Pacific strategy. Much to the consternation of the affected parties, the new defense pact risks marginalizing the EU's role in the region and undermining ASEAN centrality. When it comes to security issues, particularly noteworthy is the rise of intense competition and significant military build-up among numerous nations. Although attention is paid to the entire Indo-Pacific region, China is the only country directly mentioned. This can be read as a note to the countries that expect to adopt a stark posture in a bid to counter growing Chinese assertiveness, especially to put more pressure on China's contested claims in the South China Sea and other maritime theaters. Malaysian Prime Minister Ismail Sabri Yaakob pointed out to his Australian counterpart that AUKUS could potentially be a catalyst towards a nuclear arms race in the Indo-Pacific region, as well as provoke other powers to act more aggressively, especially within the South China Sea region. ASEAN fears that its centrality in the Indo-Pacific region in terms of multilateral cooperation will be rendered meaningless by another multilateral grouping such as AUKUS or Quad. The reality is that while ASEAN and major member states are focused primarily on the risk of action, there are considerable risks of inaction and hesitation. The current era will either enhance or lessen the relevance of ASEAN in the eyes of these three countries in the years ahead, depending on how the organization and its key member states respond. That's all from me. Thank you.